In this video we will talk about the 4 classes of Outriders. Outriders is a new looter-shooter game by Square Enix, and I have already shared my first impressions with you in a different video if you would like to watch that one before you try and choose the class. Today I will share my personal impressions of all 4 classes that I've experienced in the free demo that you could play today as well to get your own opinion about all of that stuff. If you'd like first-hand information from me, please stick around, let's talk about it. Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Gyro. Welcome my new people, welcome my old subscribers who have joined me probably for World of Warcraft, but now, just like me, diversifying a tiny bit into other games, Valheim, Outriders, here and there, while the things are rather stale in World of Warcraft. Okay, we will jump straight into the classes. So again, this is not a full-blown game review. Watch a different video of first impressions in case you want to know a little bit more about what's up. So the game offers you 4 classes to choose from: Pyromancer, Technomancer, Trickster and Devastator. So in the live game that is about to launch on April the 2nd, things might change a tiny bit. The tweaks might happen, abilities might feel a tiny bit different, I don't know, it's very hard to predict the future. I would love to be able to do that. My first walkthrough of the demo was as the Pyromancer. Pyromancer, as the description suggests to us, is medium-range conjurer who specializes naturally on fire, in fire. So you can have a number of skills active at one time. I have played the game only up to level 5. I know it's not very far and whatever, I only scratched the surface. Why? Because first of all, it's not my main game, and second of all, because I would like to leave some exploration and some excitement for myself when the real game launches, so that we have something else to talk about. But from what I've seen, Pyromancer is definitely a very strong contender to be a recommended class for you to start with your adventures, because I would say Pyromancer is very solo friendly. Pyromancer has, so I've unlocked 3 abilities. The first one, the Flame Wave, it's something that hurts enemies right in front of you, several enemies, it's a flame wave right in front of you, and Pyromancer heals, recovers the health whenever enemies are killed, and they are marked by my fire skills. So when the enemies are on fire and they're killed, I heal. So that is how Pyromancer returns the health. What else can I say about Pyromancer? Definitely fun skills, and definitely huge advantage that a lot of these skills, well, all of them pretty much, are usable at range. Again, I don't know the end game. I don't know the skills at level 10, 15 and so on and so forth. But up to 5, super strong contender. I definitely always felt in control of the battlefield, in control of the situation. I could set the enemies on fire. I could turn them into a living bomb from a very long distance. It's the skill number 3, and it's very powerful. It sets the enemy on fire, stuns them, heals you, explodes, does damage. As well as the second skill, the number 2 skill, is a tiny bit, I would say, underwhelming. It's an interrupt, it's a stun, and it's a leech of health. So yes, I suppose it's strong, but because it hits only one target, I found it a little bit limiting. So that's Pyromancer for you. If fire is your thing, I think Pyromancer would work nicely, fairly nicely. Then there is a Technomancer. Technomancer is a very interesting cookie. I underestimated the class in my very early, very quick mention of this class in my early impressions video. In early impressions video I said a few extra words about Pyromancer because that's who I was playing as. But Technomancer, I only literally just barely rolled and scratched the surface, and I thought that his first skill is a grenade, and I apologize, this is not just a grenade, it's a bit better than that. It's a proximity mine. So the first skill is a proximity mine. Technomancer lobs it like a grenade, hence my confusion, and then when enemies come close to it, they explode. Look, it's not the most exciting thing, but it's functional, it's not too bad. Now, when the Technomancer gets his second skill, or her second skill, that's where things get a lot more interesting, and that's where it got my attention. It's a cryo turret. The second skill of Technomancer is a cryo turret. As you would imagine, it's a summon of a turret that is autonomous. You can just lob it across a barricade, keep hiding behind the barricade, and the turret first, it does damage, and second, it also freezes the enemies, it slows everyone down, which is tremendously useful during the very intense fights that happen in this game all the time, right? So it's definitely very very interesting. I would say, because Technomancer, even from the description, they say that it's a long range, it's a support, gadgets, etc. I don't know about support. Support usually means its job is not to do damage. Its job is to boost the team. It's kind of, that's what normally the word support means in these kind of games where people play roles. Well, from what I've seen from the first 3 skills, once again, that I've discovered, the bomb does damage, the proximity mine does damage, the turret, okay, turret is a little bit more on the slow down side rather than flat out damage side, I agree with that, but it's still powerful. And the third ability that it has, the pain launcher or something, it's basically you just put a rocket launcher next to you, and in the straight line ahead, it hits for really far away, and it hits pretty much all targets behind the obstacles, in front of the obstacles. It does a ton of damage by the look of it, so I really actually enjoyed it. Now the biggest difference, so both Pyromancer and Technomancer are my top 2 classes to actually choose from. Spoiler alert for Trickster and Devastator, we will talk about them in a second. But the difference between Pyromancer and Technomancer for me is that Pyromancer, while healing, fires and all that kind of stuff, it's all very fun and games, Pyromancer needs to be present all the time in combat. And by that I mean, in order for you to do damage, you need to be front and center of the battlefield. You need to be throwing that long range bomb, fire bomb. You need to be putting the blast wave out. You need to be, you know, stunning people and stuff like that. While Technomancer, I think, allows for better tactical positioning, and it's a lot more forgiving, I think, for people who see an overwhelming force of enemy coming. They could just throw a turret and run away. Literally run away behind the barricades, behind something, while turret does something. I think it might be a subtle difference, but to me, how I play, this is a massive difference, and it makes a huge difference to my choice of the main class. Now, before we make that final verdict, let's give Trickster a little bit of a go. Trickster, put simply, looks more fun than it is. At least to me. Share with me in the comments down below if you have tried Trickster, especially if you went further, much further than I have gone. And I will be completely honest with you, I played all 4 in the demo, but I've only finished the demo on Technomancer and Pyromancer because I tested Trickster sufficiently, I tested Devastator sufficiently, I unlocked the first 2 abilities for both of them, and I will tell you about them. And I was not enjoying the classes. I simply was not enjoying the classes enough to keep pushing for no good reason. My time is limited, this is not my main game. Maybe if it is my main game, I will start digging into the little dusky corners of everything like I do in World of Warcraft. But for now, I simply didn't see any purpose in it. So Trickster, as the description says, close range, hit and run, space-time. Space-time is a teleport type of stuff, which I did not unlock. Look, first ability is a slash, kind of like a slash in front of yourself that does a ton of damage and heals you and kills enemies. It is not a guaranteed kill, it just does a ton of damage, but I had enemies that survived that slash. My biggest issue with it, and where they completely lost me immediately, is the fact that Trickster is kind of like a World of Warcraft rogue. It's kind of like one of those ones that jump to you, slash with blades and jump away, right? Except in this case, we're playing a game with guns. So, and that slash, for example, the main kind of rogue-like ability of this Trickster who comes to you, stabs you and runs away, it's on massive cooldown. I cannot remember right now, because this footage that you're seeing in the background was recorded before I record this narrative and I didn't cross-check beforehand. My apologies, not my main game yet. But one thing I can tell you is that you slash, and it's 20 seconds plus, for sure, if not longer. So you wait forever until that main slash that you have to rely on comes off cooldown. Technomancer's first ability and Pyromancer's first ability, if I'm not mistaken, is on 14-second cooldown, which is a lot more forgiving. I can remember that because I played those two a lot more. But this one is a lot longer. Second ability is that bubble, that Trickster can create. It's a bubble that Trickster can put enemies into. Well, as in the bubble just appears, so the closer you are to the enemies, the better you are off. And it slows time. It slows time. So in that bubble you can move much faster while enemies are very slow. Useful? Yes, absolutely. Of course it's useful. You can dodge, you can choose your positioning, so you can use it defensively. It's not bad. It's just not my kind of gameplay. It's just not my kind of gameplay. It might be yours, but I am just simply, quite honestly, not a fan. I'm not a fan. And you have to be, in order to heal, as you can see from the description one last thing, you need to kill enemies in close range. So you have to be close and personal, yet you're using a gun. It's almost unintuitive. You have to be close, yet your slash is on cooldown, and you have to shoot someone right in the face in order to get somewhere with the heal, for example. Just not that good, not that good. I would not, at this stage of not having played the real game, not having invested hours and hours into Trickster, I would not recommend Trickster to you. Devastator, spoiler alert, similar impression. Devastator is a tank. Devastator is supposed to be taking point, defending allies, taking a lot of damage, you know, grabbing attention. I imagine that the more abilities you unlock, the more tanky they become, like taunting enemies, probably shielding yourself more, all that kind of stuff. I can fully expect that, and that's probably where it becomes fun. Also, I can see this on the preview video, in the preview little kind of window there. We can see that AoE slam into the ground that does a lot of damage. Looks fun, it does look alright, but I can tell you that in the early leveling, kind of in that level that I've reached on Devastator, just like I did on Trickster, which was unlocking the two first abilities, I also first had to be close and personal. Second, the first ability of the Devastator is a shockwave. It was on a shorter cooldown than Trickster's slash, so that was a little more usable. So it's kind of similar to the blast wave of Pyromancer, except it didn't put anyone on fire. It did quite a bit of damage, shockwave was okay, it was alright. And the second ability was simply shield. You simply took 60 or 65% less damage when you put that shield on. That's it. It is a tank, but there was nothing super exciting, and once again you had to be very close and personal with a gun in order to recover health from the kills. You could not be at range, and I like to be at range, me personally. You might choose differently. So I think again, Devastator probably just like Trickster starts shining somewhere later, kind of towards past level 5, etc. Like once more abilities have been chosen, once you have invested a little bit into your skill tree and stuff like that. I think it's a safe assumption for us to make here, but I was not a fan. I did not invest, admittedly, once again, enough time into Devastator or Trickster. So for me, like I said, the choice came down to either Pyromancer as a class that I will be playing in the main game, or the Technomancer. Once again, my first pick was Pyromancer, and I was very impressed with Pyromancer, still a big fan, and it was a very good choice. So I think if fire is your thing, if you research a little bit more into the game, into maybe some other resources that more kind of dedicated channels put into this than I have done to date, maybe Pyromancer is your thing. But with all things compared now, with all things that I've seen so far, you know, I'm gonna go Technomancer. That is gonna be my choice. I'm going to be Technomancer on April the 2nd when the game launches, simply because its range, it is very friendly to the sniper-like gameplay, and I like sniper-like gameplay. I actually like to be a sniper. I play like a sniper in Borderlands. I play like a sniper in Division 2. I play like a sniper in Destiny, a little bit less so. And I love the idea that you have turret-like devices that you can deploy, and then you can hide, run away. Basically, it allows you for more tactical freedom, for more tactical positioning, which for me is very, very critical and very, very important for me to enjoy the game. I know everyone is different, there is no right and wrong, but these are my choices. Let me know if this was helpful. Let me know if you are going to be buying Outriders. At the moment, I feel quite excited about it. Admittedly, sorry, my World of Warcraft people, I still have WoW subscription. There will be still WoW videos. I'm not making this my main game, at least not yet. But this makes me more excited, and I always said on my channel that the main thing for us spending our time in the games as adults it is at least to be excited about the time that we're spending there, right? And for you, entertainment from YouTube, content that I'm producing for you, of course you'll have more enjoyment and more seeing positive energy coming from me to you. And that energy doesn't come from nowhere, does it? It comes from being excited about the game that I'm playing. At the moment, I'll be honest with you, my attention has been split between 3 games: Valheim, Outriders demo, and World of Warcraft, obviously. And World of Warcraft, I'm scraping the bottom of the barrel, my friends. As a casual, I'm scraping the bottom of the barrel. And in all honesty, the views on those videos haven't been too high either, in case you're still wondering and in case you're thinking, oh, Gyro, why are you doing this? Let's take a look at facts, my friends. There is not much excitement here, and there is not much excitement on that side of the screen by the look of it either. So let me offer you something else, let me explore something else, especially if you are interested in either Valheim or this, or hopefully I'm also keeping my eyes open based on the poll that I've done for my community. I'm keeping my eyes open for the next season of Diablo. Let's see what happens there, because Diablo has always been my game as well. I always revisit it now and then. I welcome your comments down below. Was this helpful? Was this not? Will you be playing this game? If not, well, no harm done. Thanks very much for watching. But if you will be, I might see you in game. Thanks very much for tuning in. I'll be speaking with you soon again, very, very soon. Videos are still being released twice a week. See you later. Bye-bye.